Welcome into the San Francisco 49ers Report. My name is Chase Sr. As always, no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. And coming up, early Niners training camp winners and losers, who has performed well, who has floundered. That's all coming up here over the course of the next several minutes. Before we do that, be sure to hit that subscribe button for daily Niners coverage, news, analysis, reactions. So far in the month of July, we have gained 748 new subscribers. I want to take down that number from the month of June, where we gained nearly 1,000 subscribers, 990. Lock us in, hit that subscribe button, join the movement, and I promise you, you won't regret it because you will enjoy our Niners content right here on YouTube. Early camp winner number one is Russell Gage, the wide receiver. He has come out of nowhere to really make a name for himself among this Niners fan base, this coaching staff, and on this roster. Nobody really envisioned him having an opportunity to crack this 53-man roster, but because of injuries and uncertainty at that wide receiver position, he has a real shot to make the 53. Russell Gage is not a bad player. In fact, he's had some really good moments in his NFL career. In 5 years, he has 244 catches for nearly 3,000 yards and 14 touchdowns. When he was playing with the Atlanta Falcons, he was a very productive player, but then he suffered a pretty severe knee injury in 2023 and hasn't made an appearance in a regular season game since then. But all throughout training camp, he's been making plays. He's had a good rapport working with quarterback Brock Purdy. He's gotten some run with the ones, and he's made plays of all types of different varieties, right? Intermediate, long, money downs, red zone. Russell Gage is a player who I need to watch in the preseason to see if in game action he can continue this ascent with San Francisco. And he signed with the Niners practice squad back in November. You can see that he has benefited from being in this offense for a little while because throughout training camp, he hasn't been fazed by much. He hasn't been overwhelmed by the complexities of this offense. In fact, he's been a safety valve for this Niners offense. Winner number two is Mykel Williams, the first-round pick, 11th overall selection for the Niners in the 2025 NFL Draft back in April. Looks to be the real deal. The size, length, power, it's been on display. He has been the starting defensive end opposite of Nick Bosa. Robert Saleh has used him in some pretty exotic ways. At defensive end, at defensive tackle, pass rushing situations at end, pass rushing situations at defensive tackle. There was a moment where he lined up at defensive tackle as a stand-up rusher. He has dropped back in coverage. He's held up well in setting the edge against the run against Trent Williams. He bulldozed Dominick Puni. He got past Colton McKivitz for a sack. He's been everywhere making plays. And so at Georgia, he was huge. Long wingspan, long arms, tall, physical, powerful. I thought that was going to be able to translate to the NFL level. It has so far. But I also like how Robert Saleh has used him. What I also like is that Nick Bosa is one of the best technicians among edge rushers in the NFL. He always has a pass rush plan. He always has an arsenal of pass rushing moves. And Mykel Williams has been shadowing Nick Bosa, trying to learn from him, and he needs to get better as a pass rusher. Hopefully he can do that following Bosa's tail. Those pop plays on defense, they have been impressive. Now today on Tuesday, Williams did not practice because of an ankle injury. The Niners said it's nothing serious. It's minor. Of note, though, he got hurt week 1 against Clemson for Georgia last year. That ankle nagged him throughout the entire season. And that was a big reason why, according to him, he wasn't all that productive. Hopefully it isn't the same ankle. Hopefully it's not something that is problematic. Winner number 3, another member of this Niners draft class and another member of this defensive line group. And that's C.J. West at defensive tackle. He has really made a name for himself winning one-on-ones, making disruptive plays in the backfield, and he wins because he's a smaller defensive tackle at about 6'1", 315 pounds, with an explosive get-off, good technique, and violent hands. The Niners tweeted this video out today, and he dog walks the offensive lineman into the lap of the quarterback if there was a quarterback in the backfield. Now that is Drew Moss, Colorado State UDFA. Drew Moss has had some nice moments in training camp. He cannot contend with the power of CJ West. You see the fast get off, you see the leg drive, you see the really violent, strong, and quick hands, and he makes this look like easy work. This is an unbelievable display of raw power from CJ West. He continues to play like this and make plays like this and do this. He's going to be a factor for this Niners defense in 2025. Another rookie from this 2025 class is a winner in my eyes, and that's Upton Stout, the cornerback. Now, Dallas Flowers has had a good training camp, and Jacob Robinson has had a pretty good training camp. Dallas Flowers, kind of a journeyman corner. Jacob Robinson, a UDFA corner. I need to see a little bit more from Upton Stout, third-round pick out of Western Kentucky. He's a little bit of a smaller player. He has this nasty streak to him. He's very aggressive. He plays with a lot of fire. He plays with a lot of speed. He plays with a lot of intensity. This pass breakup, one of the highlights on defense throughout training camp. He's guarding Ricky Pearsall, rises up, puts the right hand in there to make a play on the football. Upton Stout might be small, doesn't play like it. He made a play in the run game against Isaac Guerrero. Isaac Guerrero has 4.3 speed. He's 220 pounds. He outweighs Upton Stout by about 40 pounds. Upton Stout led all DBs in the bench press at the NFL Combine, led all DBs in the gauntlet drill at the NFL Combine, ran a 4.4 40-yard dash. I think he's going to provide San Francisco's defense with sticky coverage, and he has an opportunity to lock down that starting slot role. Jordan James, winner number 5 for me. 5th-round pick out of Oregon. You notice a theme here. The Niners may have crushed this 2025 NFL draft class. They badly needed to, especially after making it to that Super Bowl in 2023. They had an older, expensive roster. They needed to reset the salary cap. They needed to get younger and just replenish the roster with youth talent. Jordan James got selected in the 5th round in one of the deepest running back classes in modern history. If it wasn't so deep of a class, a lot of people still had him as a 3rd-round type of player on their big boards. He runs with really good contact balance. He picks up yards after contact. He has very strong legs, which allows him to keep his feet churning. But he does some of the little things well that Kyle Shanahan and Bobby Turner really like. Didn't fumble once at Oregon. Pretty good pass protector. I think he has an ability to grow as a pass catcher. Just a sure-handed running back who's a really good scheme fit. And Oregon head coach Dan Lanning, who's one of the rising stars in college football as far as head coaches go, said, I think he's a great fit for the Niners. Outside zone type of runner, see hole, hit hole, really good vision, and quick area explosiveness. Jordan James could work himself to a point where he could get some carries here as a rookie behind Christian McCaffrey and Isaac Guerrero. More Niners winners here. Isaiah Nair, 6'4", 220, 4.4 speed, had the play of camp, the 50-yard deep shot from Mac Jones as he got past 3 Niners defenders. He is raw. He needs to work on his hands, but the ability is there. Now, he only had 2 seasons of 10-plus catches when he was in college, but guys who are 6'4", 220 who run 4.4 flat don't grow on trees. And I can't wait to see him in preseason action, because this is a fascinating developmental project for San Francisco. Jordan Watkins, 4th-round pick out of Ole Miss, 4.4 speed, or 4.3 speed, in fact. Sometimes plays more like a 4.4 guy, but tracks it very well, can pick up yards after the catch, has a solid route tree, only wide receiver in college football last year to have 5-plus catches of 60-plus yards today. He caught a 50-yard long ball from Brock Purdy. That was the play that went for a touchdown. That was the play of training camp here today. And going all the way back to the spring, Brock Purdy had said he's been balling. He got an opportunity today with Ricky Pearsall having a rest day, Jauan Jennings out with the calf injury. He took full advantage, and he too could be a factor. He too, a member of this 2025 draft class. Bryce Huff, very impressive in one-on-ones. He has a very fast get-off. He's a very explosive player. He has good bend at that edge spot. He has shown off this very impressive and hard-to-stop spin move in one-on-ones. The speed rush component that he brings to the edge rusher spot alongside Nick Bosa, I think is going to dramatically help this Niners defense as compared to last year's pass rush, which really struggled. He flourished under Robert Saleh, 67 pressures, 10 sacks in 2023. He's a great scheme fit for the 4-3. Wasn't a good scheme fit for Philadelphia running that 3-4. I think that he could have an 8 to 10 sack season, which would be a win, with the Niners not paying him all that much money and giving up a conditional 5th, which can become a 4th. D. Winters may have locked down a starting linebacking spot alongside Fred Warner this week, just flying around making plays. He has 2 interceptions so far in training camp, both off of Brock Purdy. And then Matt Hennessy, he can play center, he can play guard. He's had some good moments, and I think the Niners have a pretty good situation at backup center in case Jake Brendel gets hurt or he struggles. Matt Hennessy does have some pedigree too. He was a 3rd-round pick by the Atlanta Falcons out of Temple University. We'll get to my losers here coming up in just a moment, but I need to inform you about this deal, thanks to our fine friends at Fanatics. This Niners cutoff hoodie was $55. It is $22 off right now if you use our link down below, chatsports.com/49ers cutoff. That link is down below in the show notes and attached to the pinned comment of today's show. Early camp loser number 1, wide receiver Jauan Jennings. I love how he's handled his contract situation. He reported to Niners training camp. He started practicing right away. But for a player who is looking for a new deal and going into the final year of his contract, as his deal is set to expire after the 2025 season, to have another calf injury on top of the calf injury that he had during the spring is not good. He needs to prove that he can stay healthy, that this calf injury is not worrisome, that it's not going to linger, that it's not going to be problematic. And anytime a player is looking to lock down a deal, but he's hurt and keeps getting hurt, not a good sign for him, so I chalk him up as a loser. Loser number 2, Jacob Cowing. What a wonderful opportunity he had, which kind of got wasted. Throughout the spring, Kyle Shanahan said he was one of the best players as far as overall production being prepared. He came into the spring in better shape. He added some weight. He was making a lot of explosive plays. But on the first day of training camp, running against air, he pulled his hamstring. And he's going to be out, according to Kyle Shanahan, and you never know with what he says, till mid-August, when the Niners have those joint practices against the Las Vegas Raiders, which means he's going to miss a couple of weeks of practice and the first preseason game at the very least. He had an opportunity to really be a part of this Niners offense. 4.4 speed, gadget guy, can slip past the defense, take the top off of the defense with that long speed, but now his role is going to be up in the air because he's missing so much time, and players like Russell Gage, Isaiah Nair, Jordan Watkins making the most of their ops. Camp loser number 3 is Dominick Puni. Now, I'm not sure if it's just the fact that Mykel Williams and CJ West are that good, but Mykel Williams ran over Dominick Puni last week, and this week, CJ West had his way with Dominick Puni in one-on-one drills. If Dominick Puni regresses, it's a bad sign for a Niners offensive line, which is about middle of the pack in the NFL. Last year, he was looked at as a top 10 guard in football. He was certainly one of the top offensive linemen from the 2024 class. I'm not sure if he's going through a sophomore slump or, again, if Mykel Williams and CJ West are that powerful or Dominick Puni isn't rounding into shape, but he better kick it into gear because the Niners need him to be a player at right guard coming off the great rookie year that he had. But so far in training camp, he struggled a little bit. Renardo Green, another player dealing with the hamstring ailment. In practice a few days ago, he finally started to make some plays. Up until that point, he had been struggling. In the spring, Jauan Jennings had his number. But the other day, he had 2 or 3 pass breakups and then came up lame with the hamstring issue. He's on that similar timeline to Jacob Cowing. These are young players who need these reps, who the Niners are going to be counting on, and they're missing multiple weeks of practice throughout training camp. That could set them back for the regular season. And then lastly, Jake Moody. Jake Moody hasn't been able to distance himself from Greg Joseph, and Greg Joseph is a completely mediocre kicker in the NFL. Greg Joseph has really struggled from 50-plus yards. Jake Moody has been iffy so far in training camp. And the other day, he went 3 of 3. And then Kyle Shanahan went up to him prior to his 50-plus yarder, probably trying to put some pressure on him, and Jake Moody missed. He missed so many kicks last year. He lost his confidence. The talent is there. The leg strength is there. But for kickers like golfers, like a lot of professional athletes, sometimes it's all in between the ears. And Moody is really suffering from a lack of confidence. Last year, it resulted in him missing big kick after big kick after big kick. It cost the Niners some games. He has changed his stance. Instead of 3 steps to the ball, it's 2. This is one of those situations where we're really going to have to see how he performs when the pressure is on in games. But Kyle Shanahan applied pressure, and he choked. Not good. What say you? Your biggest early winners and losers. Drop me some names down in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching.